I'm doing a little Timewave Zero for. I'm looking at August 30th. Now, one thing when people do these updates, I don't even bother looking at other people's because they don't do this. Is they don't listen to the man's words who made this silly thing, Terrence McKenna. He said they're their thoughts in matrix. See, this graph right now is just a smaller period of time, but it's the same graph over and over again throughout human history. It just gets smaller with time. So right now we're living in a period from 1945 all the way to 2011, I believe it stops. And then after that ends, you get everything, all of human history condensed into 1 year. I mean, before 1945, the graph went on for hundreds of years. So we have a couple of different timelines we can look at. And Terence McKenna himself said that they're the thoughts in matrix. He gave an example of during the Gulf War. 1993, he ran to the computer to see the resonance by the chart, and he said it was the direct resonance with the birth of Muhammad and his life. And as soon as the war was over, Muhammad was dead. So he gave a couple examples like that. I'm just trying to make this as quick as possible because I know Americans have the actual attention span of a donut. So we're gonna go back to 1993. But first, let me go back here. Good for me. Alright. You got the timeline of February 9th, 1993. Now, it's, negligible because you're looking at this, so you can go back to November 1992, right around February. So, the end of February, beginning of March, you can be a little cheap with it. Okay, so we're going to go look back at here. What do we got? World Trade Center bombing, the first one. I mean, that was an inside job. They got the FBI on tape from the terrorists they're trying to shake down to do it. And also, you get the beginning of the Waco massacre. So, the fire didn't start yet. The children dying, that didn't start yet. But it's the beginning of it. Those two resonate, and it's interesting. Also, you got Janet Reno's entrance onto the scene as Attorney General. Her hand was heavily laid on Waco. Laughing during the hearings afterwards about using tanks against those people, calling them toys. She said it so smugly, too. She's a horrible, horrible friggin' human being. And also, North Korea. As for North Korea, said it announces the withdraw from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and refuses to allow inspections to access to nuclear sites. So, think about the graph then. Okay? Now you put all that together, and I'm only going by a couple of things here. You put all that together, something could definitely culminate into the next stage of going to World War. So we got the possibility of a false flag event, or possibly even the botch of one, because that was botched. They were trying to take down those towers then, but the idiots that had to do it, they didn't set up the explosives right, and they stood for another decade. And then you got Christians, armed Christians, being labeled as terrorists. That guy, David Koresh, is pretty shady, but the children surely didn't deserve to die, to be burnt to death, It's kind of scary. There's a lot of nuclear overtones in this. You got nuclear accident, a nuclear reactor in Russia. South Africa withdraws from the nuclear weapons program. North Korea says it won't be part of the nuclear proliferation. It's looking like a possibility of a nuclear event. Okay. That's good. It's good to know. Okay. Alright, going back. going back to what I was saying. Now we're going to go back in time one more time. That brings us to around 7:34, and between 7:34 7:46, it's a small click. It takes you pretty far. So that's what this time is, and pretty much just go right to his centuries, going back that far. And right around that time, a couple interesting things happened. The Fourth Islamic Empire, I gotta find it, was the seventh largest empire in human history. It came to an end there and taken over by another caliphate. But interestingly enough, the caliphate that existed before it got taken over was more hardline Islam, and the one that took over was a little more lenient. And also, the Moors got beat back, and that stopped the progression of Islam into Western Europe. So, I don't know how that fits in with, I think the Waco thing really sticks out. They're really trying to demonize Christians, nationalists, They're really starting to come down hard. 4 shootings in less than a month, that's some coincidence. Right before the United Nations is supposed to get that new gun regulation where everybody got to sign into it, and then, like in New York, then eventually they come for the guns. But here's the one that fell. Yada yada, Caliphate. Replaced by this one. Also, interestingly enough, their headquarters was in Syria. Then it moved to Baghdad. So, not just Syria, it was Damascus. So, it is looking pretty, it looks like a go for a false flag terror alert with nuclear overtones. The possibilities of it being, now I'm thinking, because they're trying, like Alex Jones is saying, they're trying to put the pieces together with propaganda saying that the constitutionalists are in bed with Al-Qaeda, right? So, it's looking like, on the American side, there might be a couple ways this will go, like a false flag attack, but they'll base it on a constitutionalist, but at the same time, over in Europe, which is all socialist, they're pretty much brainwashed. I know they're starting to wake up now. They're seeing how much it sucks, but they'll probably have a simultaneous attack in Europe, but it'll be by the hands of Muslims over there, and then both sides will be heavily demonized. Yeah, but that's all retarded speculation, because this graph really means shit. So, it's interesting. That's all I can say. Yeah, we'll see what happens.